music in there on this. That'd make it better. It's like simple. Going.
Oh, really? Welcome into this Monday edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio. We'll discuss Lane Kiffin. He had his press conference here about an hour and a half ago, hour and 15 minutes ago, something like that. It's 1:15 as we are getting started this afternoon. We'll also look at lines for the week. We talked about a lot on Saturday night, but we'll get into some overreactions, some reactions, and more. Neal and Jay did that on Greatest Pod in the South Sunday as well. You can find that up on the MPW Digital Network. I'm trying to fix my camera because I did not look at it at all prior to us getting started. Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better. You had it and then you moved it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
It's fine now?
It's fine.
We can go with this? Okay.
Yeah, I might not win the Emmy today, but that's going to be okay.
Okay. Good enough. We'll take it. So that and more coming up on the show. Starting to see people come in from a live stream standpoint. So hopefully you guys jump in the chat. We'll talk to you a little bit, see what you have to say, and more. Ole Miss in Kentucky, 3 o'clock Saturday from Kroger Field now, right? Kroger
That
Field.
is correct.
Yeah, I'm going to say Commonwealth Stadium, but Kroger Field for Kentucky. Been a little while since Ole Miss has been up there. Has Ole Miss been up there since 2011 with Nutt? Is that the last trip to Lexington?
No, they went up there because they played the DK
the
Metcalf
DK Metcalf game. That's right. Forgot about that one. All right, so second trip since then. Yeah, that season is just kind of out of my head. I don't remember a whole lot about Matt Luke's first season. So,
well, that's because that was the day to take the little trip down memory lane. We can say it now. I don't care. Everybody's gone.
That day?
No, that day I ran that giant story about the Ole Miss job. I granted everyone in it anonymity so that people would be honest.
Okay.
And I reached out to, 50 people and had tons of quotes. And I remember maybe that day before I told Ross Bjork, I'm like, hey, I just don't want you to think that I'm being unprofessional here. Here's what I did. And I remember him being very interested in what people had to say going into that game. Talked about a whole lot of people.
What did Ross say?
It's pretty obvious that they weren't hiring Matt Luke at that time. I didn't write much about Matt Luke. It was one of the things that I was hung up on for a month. If you remember, I kept asking. I'd follow up at the end of every conversation with someone and go, so there's no chance you guys hire Luke.
And it was that to that level. I mean, hey, no shot. Like, right, we're cool?
Yeah.
All good?
Yeah, because I was like, I don't want to be.
Because in hindsight, Dave Doran was a clear favorite at that point.
Yeah. Because I remember saying to Matt when it was over, I finally just said it. I was like, hey, I didn't write your name in November because the people that were making the hire told me that you weren't going to get it. And I didn't want to be disrespectful to Matt Luke, but at the same time, I didn't want to write about him if he wasn't a real candidate.
Well, because that's disrespectful to him. But he's not it's not a candidate at all, and you just keep going and beating him over his head. I mean, there's no sense in doing that. So, yeah. Fun times. Anyway.
I don't know that I would call them fun. They were interesting times.
They were more fun than like 2011.
Yeah, for sure.
More fun than 11. 11 was not fun.
11 was not fun.
No. Until the end. The end was kind of fun.
Well, by the end, you were just so punch drunk from it all that it was almost amusing.
Yeah, that's fair. So, podcasts are brought to you every single day by the Oxford Exxon Highway 6 West in Oxford. Hopefully you stop by between 4 and 6 on Friday. You filled up and got your Lane Kiffin bobblehead. we have one over here in the Clark Ford studio, so you can hopefully have that again.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody who jumped in. Everybody took advantage of the opportunity.
He's kind of blocked
to
by
get,
my microphone. I've got
yeah.
to find a place for Lane here.
Yeah. They went with the white pullover on Lane. Yeah.
They did. They probably should have gone
Powdered it.
powder blue, but maybe that's easier said than done.
Yeah, that's fair. So now you can just get the lunch specials, $5.69, 2 sides bread, 32-ounce drink there at the Blue Sky, the Oxford Exxon in Oxford, and all Blue Sky locations in Mississippi. You use the Speed Pass Plus app. You get on with your day quickly and easily there with the Blue Sky. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. I think Lane needs to move from this side over to this side because you can see him more.
Over by your books?
If it's important for Lane to be seen, I don't know whether Lane would like for his bobblehead to be seen. I doubt if Lane gives one damn whether his bobblehead is seen on this here podcast or not. Just keeping it real.
I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters to him even.
I don't think his blood pressure would change one iota.
No.
You told him.
I don't even know that it would change 1/100th of one iota.
Okay.
662-257-1900 is the number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark.
Just go ahead and then we'll get in the stream. Go ahead and then we'll start.
I do have the Bob Ross Chia Pet.
It's over there. It's growing.
It's trying to grow.
It's struggling.
It's a disaster right now.
It's kind of fitting Neal from a hairline standpoint, but we're giving it a shot. It's taking off.
Must be something about this room. You just can't grow hair in it. 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for Corey Clark. You can ask Corey about Chia Pets and Lane Kiffin bobbleheads, and then eventually you can say, hey, I'd like a quote on this particular Ford, and he'll give it to you. Be right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote, and the rest is up to you. You can shop it around. You can do what I've done, what I suggest that you do, and that's hop into a Clark Ford today. 662-257-1900. Guest will join us this week on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. And Rafters on the Square is open. Rafters on the Water will be back open on Wednesday through Sunday. And Rafters New Albany as well. Really big thanks to Rafters for helping us out with our in-game watch party on Saturday. We'll do that again this Saturday with a different restaurant of others choosing, and so we'll have a big day for you. We'll probably talk about that as the week goes on. Hell, we might talk about it here in a minute. I've already started kind of working on some of it. So again, our thanks to Rafters. Guests will join us on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. It's a big week for sports. You've got Major League Baseball playoffs that start tomorrow. There are 8 Major League Baseball playoff games on Wednesday. The NBA Finals start tomorrow or Wednesday. I can't remember. There's an NHL Game 6 or 7 tomorrow, I think. There's an NFL game tonight between 2 teams that you may have heard of, the Ravens, the Chiefs. That's tonight. Then you've got, according to plans, there will be an NFL Week 4, I guess, will get started on Thursday. So, in other words, there's a lot of stuff to watch.
Crap game on Thursday, though. It's Jets somebody, right?
Yeah. But be a fun time on all throughout the week, and you can really enhance that on Saturday. And then, of course, Ole Miss at Kentucky, 3 o'clock. That'll be on all the screens there at Rafters. Might even get them to put our watch party up on one of the screens as well.
In a thread, Corey says, Russ just texted him. He'd like to see Cookout for the next sponsor. We'll see what we can do as the season moves on. I've already got a couple scheduled out, but, hey, we'll try to do the best we can.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's good stuff. Let's see. We will do a better job of showing the food on Saturday. That was somewhat my fault. I don't really know what the camera is half the time, so I hold it up and then it doesn't actually get in frame. But it's all good. We're learning. We'll get there. Let's see. We did see Lane's FLG shirt he had on today. Actually, if I'm right on this, and I can find some people in the live stream to probably tell me, I'm pretty sure that I know the guy who designed those shirts. He's from Amory originally. I did see that. He's nothing if not a marketer. He's gonna pick out some stuff. He's gonna have some fun with it. So we'll give him credit for that, if nothing else.
He's got a future in marketing if this coaching thing doesn't work out and he runs through the 4 whatever million that he's making a year.
He's not buttoned up. He does not need the country club polo that Saban wears every media day or the school merchandise or gear that a lot of coaches have to be seen in all the time.
Well, the truth is on these freaking Zoom calls, it's all so weird. The Zoom call press conference never gets less weird. I have a hard time getting into the Zoom call press conference.
You think it's getting more weird as we go?
I find it more difficult to get engaged in it. I go back and listen to it, and Kiffin is such a good quote that you can use most everything that he says, but I have a hard time getting particularly enthused about.
Just the nature of the Zoom call?
Yeah.
Because it's even more disjointed than a regular press conference, which is saying something.
Yeah.
It's really just stuff firing from anywhere and whatever. And
it might not be any different with him because I don't know that he really cares what any of us really think or say. But in person, at least you would have a little bit more of a personal dynamic. I think it would be a very little bit more.
But it would
be
something.
A little bit.
That's fair.
Because as of now, I don't know that he knows who we are. I don't know that he would ever know who we are, but I think there would at least be some familiarity at some point.
It's probably true for that. JD asking resounding success for y'all this weekend, ? Yeah, it went well. Pretty pleased with the way everything went. I thought home games are going to be harder than road games on post-game for whatever reason. We do better when the team's on the road, even with the attendance issues. So we'll see what that looks like on Saturday. The pregame was a little better than I expected, but I had pretty high expectations. And I thought the during game blew away my expectations because I had none. I had no idea what to expect, but I had a pretty consistent number in there. Pete was fantastic during the second quarter. Even if you don't like us rattling on and on and on, Pete's appointment viewing during the second quarter.
He will be back this week in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Ryan Brown will be with us in the first hour. We'll come on at 1 o'clock, and so there will be 2 games that will be either at the half or close to the half. So we'll be able to talk about those 2 games. Let's see. I've got schedules in front of me. I got really organized today because last week I wasn't sufficiently organized in my mind, and it led to me having some mornings where I woke up like
a little panicky.
Not really panicky, but 3 o'clock in the morning going, I need to go work, which made me tired by the end of the week. So you got South Carolina at Florida. That's at 11 a.m. Missouri at Tennessee, that's at 11 a.m. So we'll get Ryan on from 1:10 till about 2 o'clock, which will give him plenty of time to get his TVs ready for Texas A&M and Alabama because that's the game he's got to watch because they'll probably talk about that, I'm guessing, on Birmingham radio a little bit next week. That game's at 2:30 on CBS, and then we'll get you up until about 2:50, I think, is what we'll do. Ole Miss at Kentucky at 3. We'll launch another live stream at 3 o'clock, and we'll have Pete DeWeese join us for the second quarter and kind of tell us what's happened, what people are trying to do to one another, and then we'll go from there.
I do not have a Bama hat on. I have a hat on that says Commonwealth of Bourbon, and it is the Kentucky State seal, but it says Bourbon instead of Kentucky on it. So it is not Alabama.
And Nicole Auerbach would say that's karma that your hat looks weird.
Did she leave it up? Or did she take it down?
I don't know. It's really stupid.
Somebody had to reprimand that, right?
Nope.
You don't think so?
Nope.
At all?
No chance.
All good?
I don't know about all good, but they left it alone. Yeah. What do you say?
Yeah, I don't know. Took it down. Seen in the thread.
Oh, she did.
Or at least that, I guess.
So I was talking to Gabe. You'll be interested in this.
Sure.
You can you can Zoom an interview, tape it, and put it into eCam as a new scene.
Yeah.
And, so if we need to talk to somebody ahead of time.
Yeah, we were talking about this the other day.
Yeah. It kind of hit me, and it was a voila moment in the middle of the night of, that's how you do that.
Well, yeah, because the reason I liked it was that, in theory, and again, I don't know how we're going to use it right now, but on those game weekends when we are on so long, there could be a time where you guys are still entertained, you're still getting our interviews, but we get 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Get a break to kind of do something. If we've got something else going on, we don't lose the stream in the middle, and everybody's still locked in.
And really more than a break, it's just that there will be some Saturdays where someone doesn't have time on Saturday, but he or she might be able to tape with us on Wednesday or Thursday, and we could just save it and use it.
Yeah. I did think about that. There's no doubt. Let's see. Got plenty really going on. Not really news necessarily out of Lane today. Said he could hear something, or he expects more information out of Otis Reese today. So there is that. I mean, that's the ongoing question everybody's had all week or all season really to this point. So we'll see what comes out of that. Ole Miss certainly could use him. and that defensive backfield with what's going on for the Rebels. Otherwise, he said there were no positives out of the defense on Saturday.
No,
none,
and there were none. I mean,
very honest.
You know, how could you watch that and go, you give up 640 yards?
I think so. Yeah.
You know, and say, oh yeah, there were some things to build on. No, there's not. It was a complete disaster on that side of the ball, and you simply have to play better. They have to be able to get off the field on third down. And look, it's Monday, so we have plenty of time to preview Kentucky. But let me let you in on a little bit of Kentucky's game plan for Saturday. Eat clock. Sustain drives.
Which fits into what they want to do anyway. They want to keep the ball on the ground. I mean, their path to success is not what happened Saturday. Terry Wilson threw the ball 37 times on Saturday.
Yeah, that's not what they want to do. No, they want to run the football, and they want to be versatile, but they'll watch that film, and I'm sure they're going to try to go after some DBs. Now, I went back and watched some yesterday of Ole Miss and Florida. Some of it, and Keydron Smith said this, some of it was just simply athletic mismatches.
And there's nothing to do about that.
You know, I mean, you can put me on Jimmy Butler, and I can play really strong fundamental defense, and he's going to light me up. I mean, there's a lot of really good NBA defenders, for example, that get lit up by Anthony Davis.
Sure, yeah.
But they've got to be able to create more pass rush. You've got to get to the quarterback. You've got to at least make the quarterback think about it, move his feet. Trask had a lot of plays where he had his 5-step drop, 7-step drop. He got comfortable, got his feet set, looked around, kept his, boom, got off the throw. You can't – it's going to happen some, but that can't happen all day like it did for Ole Miss.
And I think you hit it. I mean, look, they have to decide, are we laying back in coverage? Are we blitzing? What are we doing? I mean, schematically, duh. But it's just getting off on third down because you're not going to stop them a ton. You're not going to stop them all day long. It's just when you do have the opportunity to make one play, make that one play. You can still give up 450 yards and be somewhat productive given the game.
Yeah.
If you can just get off the field on third down. Now they couldn't. Now Florida did whatever they wanted on third down. There was no success there whatsoever for the most part.
Well, and
again, you hope Florida is really good on offense,
and they are.
Yeah,
they are. So it's a first-round pick at quarterback. Probably at least 2 first-round picks in that receiver core, and they're good up front. Athletes all over the place. And a hell of a play caller in Mullen. I mean, you won't play. Ole Miss has 9 games left. I'm trying to think, is there one team left on the schedule that could be more explosive than Florida offensively, and I'm coming up with a blank.
Ooh.
Alabama will be more balanced than Florida.
I mean, Bama's the only even option there.
Yeah.
Because, Auburn can't do it. State.
Well, potentially.
I mean,
look, I went back and watched some of that yesterday too. Yeah. That was impressive. I mean,
are we being crazy for thinking early more than late success, though?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
We'll see, but they haven't had a chance to play late. They had a chance to play one game, and they played it, and they were impressive.
They were.
And so when people do you guys just don't – okay, I know what – I mean, I looked at the game. Now, LSU missed Stingley something awful in the back.
Yeah, it would have made
back
a hell of a difference.
But you got to give Mississippi State credit. Threw a pick 6, lost the turnover battle, had 9 yards rushing. Now, some of that was sacks and stuff. But 9 yards rushing. Kylan Hill goes for, I think, 31 yards.
9 of 37 maybe,
something like that.
Yeah. Now, he did catch about 140 yards out of the backfield.
And you still score all the points that they scored.
Yeah, Larry Joe says, look, State's better, LSU much, much, much worse. There's no doubt. It's both to some extent, but LSU does have athletes. I mean, it's not like you did it on a JV team out there. That's what at least makes me, after one game, overreaction, put State into the conversation because, I mean, LSU's not chopped liver in the defensive backfield from an athletic standpoint.
Of course not.
On. So, I will say this, and I'm not sure Matt Corral at least would fit into this given what Lane is determined to do on offense. KJ Costello, the most important player to his team in college football right now.
Yeah.
Because I mean, who's you know what I mean? Like he's the guy, and it's whatever.
Yeah.
At this point.
I don't look at them and think they're a title contender in the league.
Well, no.
I mean, if you watched Alabama, Missouri, if you just watched the first half of that game, you went, "Oh, okay. Well, that's no shock here, but that's who's going to win the league. That's who's going to win the West. Alabama's going to win the West.
Yeah,
they're the best team.
I don't think they're going to lose a Western Division game.
No, I don't either. I mean,
frankly, after watching everybody, it's only 1 week. I think they're going 10-0.
I do too.
Because I don't think Georgia can beat them.
I don't either.
I don't think the court. Now we'll see what happens when they get the other guy eligible.
Because JT Daniels is going to play as early as this week.
Yeah, I get that.
Because if he doesn't play this week, they're losing to Auburn, and this conversation can just go ahead and stop.
What's your early take on that game?
I don't know. Kind of liked what I saw out of Auburn. I've heard people sort of downplay it. I thought defensively they looked really athletic. Thought Nix had clearly made some strides from a year ago. They don't have that offensive line that you're used to Auburn having, though. They don't have that just, Auburn, when I think about Auburn, and I can't help it because I covered them all those years, I always think about them as having some stud in the backfield that can always get you the 3 yards when you need it. I'm not sure they have that. They've always been good up front, and they've had that stud. When I was covering them, it was Rudy Johnson, and then it was Ronnie Brown and Carnell Williams, and then subsequently after that, they had other backs. They just always had a dude or two dudes that could just go get it.
Well, the other thing with Auburn, too, is you are seeing a little bit of and Jay talked about this a little bit of a shift, too, just schematically, because this is Chad Morris's offense more than it is Gus's this moment.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that, kind of what that means for Auburn in a second. First, tell you about Community Mortgage. Oxford, Memphis, DeSoto County, Chattanooga, underwriting and processing is done in Memphis. You're getting local underwriting and understands your market, a leader in condo financing, the float down option, and more. You can find Jason at 662-234-2704 or JLOWE at communitymtg.com.
We are also brought to you by Jupiter Security Systems. Based in Madison, Mississippi, Jupiter Security Systems provides your business with a help desk, allowing you to get software at much cheaper price than you would going directly to Microsoft or the other different cybersecurity services. They offer businesses the full Microsoft 365 suite, email spam protection. They monitor your workstations and servers. They don't see your data, by the way, but they do know if malicious applications get installed on your computers. There's a lot more to know. It's basically ADT for your computer systems and data. And to learn more, call Eric at 601-519-9583 or email info@jupitersecurity.net or visit jupitersecurity.net. The Oxford Park Commission will have a flag football season at M-Trade Park this fall. Registration has begun. It will continue through October the 4th. Leagues are available for ages 6 to 10 at a cost of $40 per child. There are discounts available for multiple players from the same family. So go to oxfordparkcommission.com for more details on signing up. We are also brought to you by the College Corner. It's your one-stop Rebel Shop, 2 locations in the Jackson area in Ridgeland. The College Corner is next to Fleet Feet, and in Flowood, it's next to Half Shell. If you don't live in Jackson, it's not a problem. You can visit the College Corner at collegecornerstore.com. Plus, you can find them on Facebook and Instagram. So whether you're tailgating in Oxford or homegating with friends and family, the College Corner has you covered for any game day. Largest selection of Rebel gear in central Mississippi. Throughout the month of October, mention Rebel Grove at checkout to get 15% off your entire purchase. You can also use it online. Just put Rebel Grove in the coupon tab at checkout. Zach Berry and I will record a soft verbal podcast this week. We'll talk some recruiting. I know he talked to a bunch of guys about their reaction to the start of the Lane Kiffin era. You can read that story at rebelgrove.com. It's part of the Rivals Network. Prices still the same as they were back in the Teddy Roosevelt administration, so you can get right in. Don't have to worry about inflation with Rivals.com. You can go to Rebel Grove and enjoy that story and a lot more. And know that the Soft Verbal Podcast is brought to you by the people at Dead Soxy. It's deadsoxy.com, DEADSOXY.com. Right now, you can use a code. You can get the code. Go to email Mike, M-I-K-E, at deadsoxy.com. Get your $10 code emailed directly to you. It's basically free money for your shopping at deadsoxy.com. And we're brought to you by Blue Delta Jeans. You saw me in a moment that will live in internet infamy. Model a pair of the powder blue stretch. How do you describe them? It's not the stretch. It's powder blue.
No, they have some give in them, though.
They do have some
They're
give,
four-way stretch. That is what they are.
That's what I was
They
looking
are
for. Four-way stretch cotton pants. They come in 12 colors, including that powder blue that I wore the other day. We'll have a new pair of Blue Deltas this weekend for our post-game show, Hand Raise guys. Maybe we'll get Parham here to do some modeling this week.
I don't even know what we're modeling yet this week. Do you?
I don't either.
Do you have the answer?
I don't.
Okay.
I'm kind of hoping, though, that you're the one that does the modeling. I at the end of some of the text messages that I got from my modeling experience, I was having some
a little bit of self-esteem issue.
I was having some real self-esteem issues, some insecurities. I was not feeling myself. It's info at bluedeltajeans.com for more information. And remember, just because you won't be in the Grove this year doesn't mean you don't need to look your best for game day.
So Auburn looks more like Chad Morris. Getting away from, like you said, I mean, kind of what we've always known Auburn for a little bit. I mean, you're still going to try to run the football, but it's not that kind of downhill thing that they work off the run game into the pass. They're going to go backwards a little bit. They're going to work off the pass into the run with Auburn. And you mentioned the lack of a running back that we know of, or that seems to be with that staple of that program. Offensively, though, now what was the number? What Sammy Williams, is that his name? The one wide receiver that's really, really good. They have an ace at receiver.
Williams.
Auburn. Yeah, Williams.
He made a big-time play.
He's great. Offensively, though, I don't know if they have anybody else that scares you with them. Now, their defense is pretty salty. Their defense is good.
It's really good.
But that's going to be an Auburn team that doesn't necessarily go outscore a ton of people. So I think I don't know to what level, but they do not strike me as they seem closer to be that team that could get hit by a couple other teams throughout the season than being that second team that kind of challenges Alabama a little bit. I don't see that. I think they're more likely coming back into the middle of the pack than separating themselves as a number 2 in the West.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody in the West is going to challenge Alabama in any shape, form, or fashion.
And no, this isn't one of Bama's best teams.
No, but it's really balanced. And now they have 2 good quarterbacks. The kid's going to be really good.
The freshman.
Yeah, and he doesn't have to play right now. They can do what they did. Now, this, from a betting line standpoint, might be something to watch. Jones is going to play,
yeah.
But when they get way up on somebody, they're going to get Young in and get him some snaps. And they're going to let him throw the ball around. And he did some good things, and he made some mistakes at Missouri. And they're
say they allowed Missouri to cover a football game on Saturday.
Yeah, they don't believe, I would guess, that Bryce Young's going to be there 5 or 6 years. But the fact that this is a free year for him, he's going to play.
The West looking like it looks so far, I think you're going to see a lot of that, I guess is what you're saying too. That
yeah.
It's not where, hey, these 2 teams have got to really, do whatever. It's 1 week. I get that.
Yes.
Who are we overreacting to the most after 1 week? Let's put it that way. It's potentially State.
It's maybe State.
It's potentially LSU in the other direction, but I don't think so. I saw a team that's going to go 5-5.
I mean, that's your quarterback?
We've talked about that. I mean, there is a ceiling there that is not crazy high.
No.
I mean, it's just true.
No, that's not Joe Burrow back there. Or anything resembling Joe
Arkansas
Burrow.
played a little better, but they're not good.
No, they're better. But they're not good. No, they're not going to be good. You don't lose for 3 straight years in the SEC and suddenly you wake up and go, voila, we're good. It's magic. But they're better. Franks gives them at least something with some degree of consistency at quarterback. They've got some weapons on the outside. They're not very good up front, which you kind of thought they wouldn't be. And defensively,
A&M looked like warmed over garbage on Saturday.
They didn't look good at all.
It looked terrible.
Yeah.
That still felt like it meant more about A&M than it did Vanderbilt. Because Vanderbilt's not good. They're one-dimensional and whatever.
No, that was weird.
It's a game.
That was
I
weird.
was praying for a Doors win right there. I mean, I'd have been so excited for a Vanderbilt win at that point.
Tennessee, South Carolina, by the way, lived up to the.
It was good.
It was a really good game. Very entertaining.
Close.
Fun to
good,
watch.
No problems. It was fine.
Fun to watch.
I think Tennessee is very solid.
That's the good word.
They're not great. They're not bad. They're fine.
And the Gamecocks are average. They're just average.
Yeah.
They're a 5 on a 1 to 10.
The takeaway is that for Ole Miss, you don't see a lot of guaranteed losses on the schedule. Now, you don't see a lot of guaranteed wins. You got to play well.
Yeah.
But you're not going into this thing going, oh, my God, those 4 teams look great. You can't beat them. No. Everybody is gettable in the right, perfect environment except for Alabama.
Oh, I'll go hot taker than that.
Okay.
There are 2 teams on Ole Miss's schedule that I think if Ole Miss played them 10 times, they'd lose all 10 times.
Florida and Alabama.
That's it. So you've already played one of them. I don't think Ole Miss could line up and beat Florida. I know a couple of breaks, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But I'm sure that Dan Mullen went back and looked at the film and said, if we were a little sharper, that plays a hit. That plays a hit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So both teams probably had some of that. Everybody else, if you played them 10 times, I think you could get them at least once.
How many can you get, 3 or 4?
Well,
because that suddenly brings in, we can look telling somebody, hey, you're going to win 10% of the time. Well, okay, but that's still.
We can look at the schedule here. Let's see. Kentucky, at least 3. 3 to 5, probably. Alabama, none. Ole Miss can't beat Alabama, in my opinion. If they do, then great. We'll talk about it a lot.
They might could get 1, but not enough that matters.
Yeah, anybody who wants to come make that bet with me, holler.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah. Arkansas, I think Ole Miss would win
7.
I was going to say 8, 9 times.
Yeah.
Auburn in a 10-game thing, maybe twice.
Yeah, 2 or 3 is what I was thinking.
Who's after that? It's
South
Carolina.
6, 7.
5 or 6.
Sure.
Vanderbilt probably 9 or 10.
Yeah. Vanderbilt can't score enough even against that defense.
Texas A&M, I'd say at least 5.
I want to see another A&M game. Honestly, if you told, hey, let me see a week 2 on somebody, A&M's very top of the list. I just need a little more sample size. Well, I don't think they're great.
They go to Alabama Saturday.
So maybe that's not a good sample size.
That might not be what you want to see. And Mississippi State gets Arkansas, and I'd like to see another state game, but they might light that secondary on fire Saturday in Starkville.
Oh, man.
Arkansas had a hard time covering people. They actually were okay against the run. They had a hard time covering people. So that leaves LSU and State. Right now, if you told me that Ole Miss either beat LSU or State, I'd say, oh, they beat LSU. They can't beat State because they can.
But you would pick LSU over State if you had to pick one on a game Ole Miss wins.
Yeah. You don't think? Well, can you miss? Ole Miss going to figure it out a little bit now, or else the air raid might go for 750. They're going to have to cover some people.
And now Miles Brennan did score in the 30s. Ole Miss is going to score points.
Yeah, it's going to be a track meet.
Yeah.
But Ole Miss has got to get better on defense, and I don't know how you do that when you can't go out and sign some free agents.
Otis Reese would help.
He would help a bunch.
The body.
He would help a bunch. But they got to be more than that. They have to play better. I thought, and I asked Keedron Smith about it, and he didn't. I have to go back and listen to the answer because I'm not exactly sure I remember what he said, but they looked like they lost some confidence as that game went on. It was like, oh, we can't get off the field, and then the one time you're about to get off the field, you get called for a roughing the passer penalty that was stupid. Just an awful call.
Looking back, huge call for so many different reasons. Like
I
said, forget necessarily even win or loss, but just allowing Ole Miss, what Jeffrey and I talked about while you were gone or while you were doing something else too, just getting them the experience of that moment. You know what I mean? You get the ball back right there. You're in this situation. Hey, get it back, go score, try to get a stop then, and then go tie the game. You know what I mean? Like, hey, there's some experience. There's something they might need in Lexington on Saturday of that. And I thought that was what it deprived them of more than anything else. It was pretty critical, honestly.
Yeah, no. And look, at the end of the day, Ole Miss is throwing into the end zone to make it a one-score game. Didn't get it, but they were throwing into the end. There are things you can build on offensively, and I think that Lane talked about that today. But the other side of that is the defensive side. Just, whew. It wasn't much. They didn't make much happen on defense. He didn't get much coach speak today from Lane Kiffin, which I don't think we're going to get any all year, ever, which is really refreshing, by the way. Is there anything you can build on defense? No. Nope, throw that out. Got to go get players.
You'd have to get more aggressive?
I would. Because if you get hit for a big play, at least you put your offense back on the field.
I'm going to write about this a little, so I'm not going to give away too much away. But looking at it here, let me make sure I'm right about this before I say it, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Yeah, I am. Ole Miss had 82 offensive snaps on Saturday. The 5 starting offensive linemen all played 82 snaps.
Yeah.
They got no one else in whatsoever. And that was doable when game 1. I don't know if that becomes doable as things move on. Now, they do like a couple other guys.
Some of that is if it's working, don't switch it out.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I guess my point, though, is did you take anything from that as far as an aversion to use some of the other dudes? Because we thought they probably could go 6 or 7, before injuries hit in some way.
Potentially. I don't know. It may have just literally been the offense is working. Let's just stay with what's out there. But I don't know. It's moving forward. It's something you do have to develop some depth there. The odds of you staying completely healthy up front for 10 games in this league are not good.
Ely 38 snaps in the backfield. Connor 32. Talon Knight 12.
By the way, people asked about Henry Parrish a lot. He had an injury that kept him out of a couple of practices, so they just used him on special teams. Kiffin said he thought he would play more this week at running back.
Do you think you will? Where do you think Parrish falls and carries at this point?
I don't know. I would think they want to give him some. From all accounts, he's a more explosive guy than anybody not named Jerry and Ely. More explosive than Connor. I don't like Knight getting carries. He's too small. I don't see it. If we're going to cover a coach that does no coach speak, then I think we can return the favor and do no media speak. I don't think he's an SEC player. He's a Mississippi-made recruit. Doesn't mean he's not a good kid, not a good person, all of those things. I just don't think he's going to be impactful against good SEC teams. He's too small. You can feel free to disagree.
No. I'm thinking. Who's Florida got this weekend? We'll get into lines in a minute.
They're at home against South Carolina.
So they'll go 2-0 without a whole lot.
11 a.m. ESPN.
Bama at 5 o'clock, by the way. I don't think we've talked about that yet. Start time 5 o'clock, so we'll come on 3, and then we'll be with you for a while. But that's actually a pretty good time. Actually, kind of the more we're talking through it, I like that start time a lot.
I like our chances to have pretty healthy stream at 11 o'clock that night. Get a drunk Ed, a drunk Spencer.
Not at the same time.
You don't want them at the same time?
No, I'm good. I'm all right. We will get into lines in a minute. I had a pretty rough day from a line standpoint. It did not go well. I don't know how everybody else did. I know I did not do well.
You went 3 and 4. I went 3 and 4.
Oh, I did that well even?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was worse than that.
Jeffrey was – I've got it somewhere. I was 5 and 2 overall, 3 and 4 against the spread. You were 6 and 1, 3 and 4. Jeffrey was 6 and 1, 5 and 2, and Zach Berry 6 and 1, 6 and 1.
Getting back in this thing.
Zach Berry.
Getting back in this thing.
I mean, credit.
Fade at your own risk, ladies and gentlemen.
Credit where credit's due. He's the week 2 winner or week 3 winner, whatever it was.
We don't give weekly awards out, though.
No, well, not unless I win.
You don't get a set of steak knives just because you won a week. I mean,
no.
Sorry, that's not a...
No.
Let's see. Yeah, Michael, call in Saturday. Tell us how you're doing. Good luck with everything this week. Reading from the stream a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, Ed's not going to call him back. Not going to call today. We're not opening phone lines today. I'm sorry. This is not going to be a thing. Well, we got a couple minutes for the next break. Baseball playoffs. I know why it was necessary. I know we're going to get a lot of playoff games, and playoff games are cool. I am having a little bit of a hard time. I hate this format, though. I know why. I'm good with it. It's money, but I hate the format.
I don't like it either. I tell you what I don't like about it.
Is it the fairness thing, or is it something else?
Yeah, I don't like here's what I don't like about it. The Atlanta Braves, for example, are a 2 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now you run into a Reds team that's hot.
Yeah, Bauer on Wednesday.
Well, and not only that, but you got Bauer, and then you got Castillo, and then you get Sonny Gray. That's tough.
If you want to pick not top 2 or 3 seeds, Cincinnati's your pick.
Well, I mean, I spent
the
weekend trying to figure out. I did not want the Cubs to face. And I don't know that the Cubs can beat anybody because they haven't really played. They started 13-3, and they've not been good.
They've coasted in.
They've not been good since. But I didn't want Cincinnati because when Bauer's on, you're not hitting him. I don't care if you're the Braves lineup. If he's on, you're not hitting him. And he's a rubber arm guy. He could come back in the game 3. And give you 3 or 4 innings. Probably won't because he's a free agent at the end of the season. But that lineup is good.
It's a scary spot for the Braves.
It's a real tough spot for the Braves.
It's the toughest spot for any 1, 2, or 3 seed on either side.
Well, Eugenio Suarez is swinging the bat well right now. Nick Castellanos has had a terrific year. They still have Votto. They have a good nucleus of players, and they're scrappy as hell, the Reds are. They're talented, and they can absolutely hit you out of a ballpark in 2 days. Are the Braves better than the Reds? Absolutely.
They are. Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Absolutely. But if you're the Braves and you lose this Max Fried, Trevor Bauer matchup, and who knows how healthy Fried is.
He had an ankle deal the other day.
Yeah, so you lose that. Tough.
The Braves need this series.
Yeah.
Badly.
Of course.
Just from a franchise standpoint, about as much as anybody does, they need this series.
Of course.
I mean, I get the Dodgers do more because they're trying to win a title and all that stuff and make all that justifiable, but you know what I mean.
It's Dodgers, Brewers.
Yeah, I was actually
Braves, Reds.
I was pulling it up right now. It is got it here. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Rays, Blue Jays.
Yeah.
A's, White Sox. A's with a 2 seed in the AL.
Yeah, White Sox kind of faded down the stretch a little bit. They did not look particularly good this weekend against the Cubs.
Twins, Astros. Fun series.
I think all of us in America are
Minnesota Twins
are cheering for the Twins this weekend.
That's a fun series, though.
Yes.
Indians, Yankees in a 4-5 matchup.
Really good series.
Indians with potentially the Cy Young and the MVP.
Well, if he doesn't win the Cy Young Award, we should stop voting.
Yeah, did you see those? Did you see that ERA plus stat? I'll get it to you in a minute after the break.
He's amazing.
Yeah, I'll get that to you after the break. And then National League, Dodgers, Brewers, Braves, Reds, Cubs, and Marlins, Padres, Cardinals. So,
Tell you what, I wouldn't want to run into the Padres either right now, the way they're playing.
Yeah, they get St. Louis up first in San Diego, I believe. Pretty sure it's in San Diego.
Yeah, it's in San Diego.
Yeah, and then we go to the bubble after that. So
yeah,
bubbles.
Multiple bubbles.
Yeah, multiple bubbles.
So here's the crazy thing. Players' families are getting sent to the bubble this week.
Oh, are they?
And some of them are going to just be in the bubble, and their husband's team's going to lose.
And they'll go back home.
And they'll just go home.
Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
They're managing it well. So
they're trying.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit of baseball in a second. First about Tyson Drugs and G&M Pharmacy. Tyson Drugs in Holly Springs, G&M there in Oxford. The Youth Immune Support Med Packs. Pharmacists develop combinations of vitamins and supplements designed to boost your immune system and lung health. 30-day supply of vitamin C, zinc, NAC, probiotic, and vitamin D3. They all work together to help you out against sickness and viruses. Again, 662-236-2222.
We're also brought to you by Pinnacle Trust. Pinnacle Trust has been with us for a while. They sponsor the Mind on My Money podcast. You can check them out at pintrust.com, P-I-N-N trust.com. They treat investing like a commodity. They make decisions using objective information and research, not emotions. So regardless of your level of wealth, they'll sit down with you and listen to your goals, study your expenses, put forth a comprehensive, detailed financial and retirement plan that's built just for you. Tell Pinnacle Trust that you heard about them on the podcast. You get 10% off your first year's fees. We're also brought to you by John Edwards of Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. A lot of deals out there right now. If you want to take advantage of them, you can. Get in touch with John. Just say, hey, here's my budget. Here's kind of what I want to do. Here's some parameters. And then sit back, let him give you options, and know you don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. 901-494-3387, or send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients can save $50 off their first booked trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast. And we're brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, Grenada Nissan's the place to go. They've got a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles, great lease deals as well. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com. And we're brought to you by Oxford University Bank, OUB, locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of the bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. OUB gives you the comfort of home, all the benefits the big mega banks provide, all the technology and products you can want, all with a personal touch. And when you call OUB, you speak directly with a live person, no 10 buttons to push, no 5 minutes to wait. To learn more, go to liveoxfordbankoxford.com or call 662-234-6668. OUB is FDIC insured. And we're brought to you by our friends at Bluff City Advisory Group, dedicated to building the future you desire. Founded in Memphis in 2019, their team is comprised of established and seasoned financial experts who came together to serve individuals and families of their beloved hometown. They value providing quality advice, experience, and access to all their clients, and they invite an open dialogue beyond your annual review. They believe everyone deserves financial security, so no matter your level of wealth or financial goal, they'll serve as an advocate and guide to grow a portfolio that is fruitful and sustainable for you. 901-365-3447 or email Ben, that's Ben, at bluffcityadvisory.com.
Getting the lines for in a second, but the stat I was finding, I believe it was Buster Olney that had it this morning. Here it is. So, talking about the Cleveland Indians, talking about Shane Bieber, 60-game season, and says, here you go. So the stat is adjusted ERA plus, and the higher the number, the better, okay, for anybody out there, because that's a little confusing because we call it ERA, but adjusted ERA plus, higher number, the better.
Yep.
Here's some context when stacked against some of the greatest full seasons of all time.
Yeah. Okay.
And now look, this is a steroid on his behalf because obviously some of these pitchers would have had better 60-game runs instead of 160 games.
This is a little more than a third of a season.
Yeah, and the point being, it's a lot harder to pitch over 162 than it is 60.
Sure,
so
fatigue and stuff. Yeah.
This is performance enhancing.
Sure.
But nonetheless, adjusted ERA plus. The king of all kings, and everybody knows this, Pedro Martinez in 2000.
Yep.
291.
Okay.
Arrieta in 15. You're going to be familiar with that.
Ooh, he was special.
215 was his number.
Yeah, he was great.
DeGrom in 18. We're aware of that one.
Yep.
218.
Okay.
Maddox in 95. Unfortunately, you're very aware of that one.
I don't remember that.
260.
I don't want to talk about it.
Bob Gibson in 1968. 258.
Okay.
Bieber in 2020. 281.
Yeah.
Better than everybody but Pedro in 2000. Oh, again, 162 versus 60, but nonetheless.
But still, yeah, he's amazing. And so in a 3-game series, you get him once. Now, the flip side of this is if you're the Cleveland Indians and you don't win Bieber's game,
bye.
It's devastating. If you're the Reds and you don't win Bauer's game, devastating.
Yeah. Looking at second-round matchups, it would be kind of fun. A's Twins would be fun.
Oh, it would be really fun.
In a round
two.
2.
Yeah.
Rays Indians would be really fun in round 2.
I'm feeling pretty good because I picked Rays Dodgers in the World Series at the beginning. I like the Rays a bunch. Rays are good. National League would be really good too.
Dodgers Padres would be fun.
They don't like each other.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And then you'd
Cubs
get a
Braves
Cubs-Braves would be a fun series.
Yeah. Cubs versus Reds or Braves would be fun.
The Cubs' chances in a 5-game series would be okay. Hendricks has been very good. Darvish, if there were no Trevor Bauer, Darvish would win the Cy Young. He's been really good. The Cubs have not found a steady number 3. You do have John Lester in a playoff series, and for whatever reason, when you hand him the ball in a playoff series, he typically delivers. But he has not been good down the stretch. I know Alec Mills threw a no-hitter recently, but I don't know that they truly believe in him. Quintana looked good in his return.
Sure.
They like Adbert Alzolay. I don't know that you want to hand him the ball in a huge game like that against a team like Atlanta. Their bullpen's been a little better lately. Craig Kimbrell did not give up anything in the month of September. For as bad as he was early, he was great late.
Corey Hamill asked us in the thread if we're going to be plugged into the debate tomorrow night. Yeah, I'll watch.
Yeah.
I don't know. We haven't decided what we're doing as far as the show and spending time on it. But, yeah, I'm definitely going to watch tomorrow night. I love campaigns. Now, I love these much less than typical. But,
yeah, I mean, it would be fun to do it, but people get so worked up. I mean, I would sit here and go YouTube Live when it was over and take calls and have fun with it. But people are so angry.
It's not a fun debate. This is not a fun debate.
No, I mean,
debates in the past have been fun. This is not one of them.
People are so angry.
Yeah, not good at all. All right, let's do lines. Let's look at lines for the week. We'll have Neal's picks on Thursday morning. Those are brought to you by College Corner every single week. South Carolina, Florida. Mentioned that. The Gators opening up their home schedule. They are 19.5-point favorites over the South Carolina Gamecocks. It's actually down to 18.5 now. It opened at 19.5. What do we have it at?
We've got South Carolina plus 18 at Florida. Let me answer a quick question in the thread.
Sure.
Grind says, how drunk were you to pick the Heat over the Lakers in 7? It really wasn't drunk. It was more, it's probably a little internal in-home bias. You
have a very big Duncan Robinson fan in your house.
Well, and beyond that, yeah. My son Carson, who turns 14 next Sunday, is a big Jimmy Butler fan. I mean, a big Jimmy Butler fan. He loves Jimmy Butler. And he also, over the course of this season, has become quite the Duncan Robinson fan, the Tyler Harrow fan. He likes Adebayo. He likes that team. So there's a little Heat bias in that pick.
The Heat winning – okay, well, hold on. Here's my question. We'll move on to the lines.
Okay.
Is the Heat or the Lakers winning better for the NBA?
Better for the league?
Yeah.
Heat?
Is it parity, that kind of thing?
Well, it just gives you another team.
Instead of the Lakers just running through shot on everybody?
They wanted the Lakers in the finals because it gives them a storyline. LeBron, Kobe, all that stuff. Because you can't keep going with the social justice stuff after a while. You're turning people off, and the ratings show that. But no, the basketball could be pretty compelling. But I'm sure they'd love a Heat upset from a rating standpoint. If people begin to think that the Heat have a real chance to win, they're going to tune in more than if they think this is going to be a Lakers coronation.
It's the way I tune in.
Yeah.
I mean, 100%.
Well, that's my point.
If the Lakers are just going to win in 5 or 6, whatever, I have no interest. But now you let the Heat be up 3-2. You let us get into a Game 6, even maybe the Heat down 3-2.
Oh, you're watching.
Yeah, I'm in now. I'll give you a half to try to keep me. And then in Game 7, 100% in.
Yeah,
Game 7s are fun.
Of course. Game 7s are fun.
Yeah.
I know what everybody says. AD's going to shut down Bam, and he probably will. LeBron's going to handle Butler. Okay. We'll see. Butler's a stud now. Who guards Goran Dragic? Who guards Kendrick Nunn? Because the Lakers aren't very good at the point.
You have to answer your own questions.
Lakers aren't very good at the point. And you're going to have to put somebody out on Duncan Robinson. Everybody goes, you can shut him down. Well, you can, but you have to put someone on him everywhere he goes because that dude will get hot and wipe you off the court. Because they see, quote, unathletic white guy that all he can do is shoot. You leave him and you pay.
Well, I'm going into lines, and we might have kind of sort of answered this. Would you adjust your record on Ole Miss at all after 1 week? You said 4-6.
I said 4-6. I'd probably stay there.
Yeah, I still think the odds are there.
Yeah, I mean,
we can see different pictures, and we might adjust some best worst a little bit, but I think the odds are still at that number.
I might take worst from 1-9 to 2-8.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, sure. Because you're just going to outscore a couple teams.
Yeah, but
some days.
But they're going to give up a bunch of points.
Yeah.
So.
Florida, South Carolina, you going to lay them?
I don't know.
Early thought.
Early thought is probably.
Okay.
Carolina was not bad the other day. I know they lost the game, but they were not bad by any stretch.
They were a little better than I had them for being. Yeah, they were okay.
Yeah.
Missouri getting a 10 or 11, depending on your book, at Tennessee.
We've got it at 10.
Okay.
Mizzou getting 10 at Tennessee, I'm probably inclined to lay those.
Missouri did not look good.
They did not.
I know they had some COVID issues and different things, but they did not look good. What's Gabe said about them?
Hadn't talked to him.
Okay. Cheers. Let's see. Baylor, West Virginia. Baylor minus 2.5 against the Mountaineers, if you care. Texas giving 13 to the TCU Horned Frogs this weekend. The Neal's hated Arkansas State Red Wolves. They are giving 3 to Coastal Carolina. Giving a Red Wolf and a Chanticleer against one another this weekend.
God.
The Red Wolves and the Roosters doing battle in Conway, South Carolina.
You never know what's going to happen when
a Pitt team that's pretty good facing Dave Doran this weekend.
No, Pitt is good.
Pitt minus 13.5 against the Wolfpack this weekend. So 2-touchdown favorite there. Hugh Freeze getting a game against the UNA Lions this weekend. UNA now a Division I team. So Liberty playing them. They are 30.5-point favorites. So Hugh's going to get him another win this weekend in Lynchburg. Are they undefeated?
I think so.
Are they? They rolling?
Isn't that great?
Yeah. He's going to be a great coach at Virginia next season. Let's see.
Wait a minute. Oh, you can't just get to drop a bomb like that. You know. Come on. You think Hugh Freeze gets the Virginia job?
I do think he gets an ACC job one day, though. I do. I think that's the next conference he coaches in is the ACC.
All right.
He's not going back to the SEC, but I think he gets an ACC gig. Somebody's going to hire him. They're going to look at that resume. They're going to see that he won some, and they're going to do it.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Okay. Army giving 31 against Abilene Christian, like their chances this weekend. Texas A&M here. This line, where are we at on this? Because this thing moved like crazy.
I've got Texas A&M plus 17.5 at Alabama.
Okay, we needed a lock-it-in function. You know where this thing opened?
I don't.
9.
Ooh.
9.
We should have locked that in.
It opened at 9. It is now at 17. Sorry, it's come back down to 16.5, but it got as high as 17 at one point. Good grief.
Well, I think Saban would like to put one on Jimbo.
You would?
Yeah, just keeping that real.
Okay. Let's see. Oklahoma State, Kansas, 21.5. Obviously the way of the Cowboys against the Jayhawks this weekend. Kansas State coming off their win over Oklahoma. They are 2.5-point favorites over Texas Tech. Phil Longo and his North Carolina Tar Heels are 13.5-point favorites over Boston College in Chestnut Hill this weekend. Memphis getting back against SMU, 2.5, courtesy of the Tigers on that side. David Cutcliffe, a 10.5-point underdog to Virginia Tech this weekend. That game is in Durham. Ole Miss and Kentucky opened at 7. It is now sitting at 6.5. Ole Miss, a touchdown underdog in Lexington. Don't have a huge problem with the line. That's kind of about where we thought it would be.
It's a fair line. That's what I thought it would be.
I don't think I would have guessed 6 if I was.
What's your initial gut feeling?
I guess this means I'm probably taking Ole Miss. If I just had a bet, I would be taking the Ole Miss money line because I could get that at plus 240 right now. So I could get 2.5 to 1 on my odds for them to win the game.
That's not a terrible.
Yeah, I like the 240 money line right now on Ole Miss.
I like the 7 points. I like getting the points here. I don't know whether
I expect a close game late, and I'll take my touchdown.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I expect an entertaining late.
But if
game.
I can get a coin flip game at plus 2.5, is my point. I mean, let's 2.5 times my money. Let's do that.
What's the Kentucky money line?
Minus. It was pretty high. It was like 220 or 240.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you had to give more than double your money to take Kentucky to win the game. In an empty stadium in Lexington. Let's see. Arkansas, Mississippi State, again, as you mentioned this weekend. That's at 18 is what I've got that at here.
Yeah, we got 17.5, but yeah.
That's fine. Auburn and Georgia, Bulldogs by 7. At the moment, I'm taking Auburn.
Well, again,
I'm going to let the week marinate, but right now I'm taking Auburn.
Again, I think these are two fairly evenly matched teams. I expect a close game down the stretch, so give me the team with the points. I'd rather have 7 than be giving 7 in a close game. Auburn hadn't beaten them in a while, but there at least. But I don't.
That doesn't.
I'm not a big believer that crap matters.
No, that's not doing anything for me at all, frankly. I just don't care. If Georgia wins this game by more than a touchdown, what does the game look like?
Well, it would mean that JT Daniels played and changed their offense and made them far more explosive than they were in Fayetteville. Look, they were behind 10-5 with 8 minutes to go in the third quarter at Arkansas. Okay, that was a real thing.
And once they got ahead, Arkansas just laid down because that's what Arkansas does.
Arkansas doesn't know how to win yet.
Yeah.
And their secondary is pretty shaky.
Arkansas?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was nothing about that Arkansas game, even though they were a little better, that made me think that they were more of a threat than they were already to Ole Miss in Week 4.
Yeah, no, I didn't see enough.
From a plus-minus standpoint, It was kind of like, yeah, sure. If anything, might even give Ole Miss a little more of a chance just because they're going to throw the football like they are, and it's going to be like, okay, yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Arkansas holding that together as this thing moves through. Oklahoma trying to get off the snide there from their Kansas State loss. They are 6.5-point favorites over Iowa State in Ames this weekend.
Wow, it'll be exciting.
I don't think we have that on our list, though, do we?
No.
That's not one of them.
No, we've got the 7 SEC games. As promised in the hand-raised guys, we've got Navy at Air Force.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then we've got two NFL games. Because a certain NFL team is 3-0.
They are. It is a very flimsy 3-0, but it is quite the 3-0. They are 3-0.
All you can be through 3 games
is how many ever you've played.
Is 3-0.
I understand.
Every time I look in the standings, and I've looked at them several times today, I don't see a line off to the side that goes, it's flimsy. I just see 3-0.
2 games ahead of the New Orleans Saints, for sure. Which they're destined for like 7-9, by the way.
Yeah, I was cheering for the Saints last night because I needed a Packers loss, but
they played fine. They're fine.
They're fine.
They're not good. They're fine.
And Green Bay's good.
The Saints look old. Other than Alvin Kamara, he looks fantastic. But
he does.
The rest of the team looks old. It's not good.
I bet Butch Jones can't watch a Saints game without just feeling racked with nausea.
Asking the thread, am I checked out on the Saints? I don't think I'm checked out, but I'm frustrated. This window is certainly closing or has closed. And it was a window that, given their regular season accolades, they should have been to more than one Super Bowl.
Yeah.
When you win a title, I don't know that failure is the word, but anything below that, it has been a failure in this era. Because at the end of the day, it's about capitalizing in the postseason.
Absolutely.
They have the most regular season wins in the league over the last 3 years. And I get the Rams fluke thing, but at the end of the day, they didn't get there, and it's been a disappointment. Not even the way they lost in the postseason, but just that they lost in general. It's frustrating because I think there's some semblance of a rebuild on deck that's going to take a bit. And there's not a clear – we'll see what Jameis looks like. I don't know if that's what they're thinking down the road. But, yeah, there's no clear answer here. Look, Michael Thomas will help, and they do need to get some downfield passing. He'll help with that. But that defense is not good right now. From a communication standpoint, from a discipline standpoint, from a penalty standpoint, they had no answer last night. It felt like a Big 12 game starting early third quarter where you went, if you don't score every time you have the ball, you have a problem.
Now, still someone from that division is required to go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And so that's what makes it interesting. I mean, those are the rules. Someone's got to go.
And they still are probably the best team in the division.
I think so.
So they win this division at 10-6 or 9-7 or something, and
So then it's just about a matchup,
But come on.
Yeah.
It's hard to see them winning 3 or 4 games in a row. Because they're not going to get a bye. I don't see them being able to go on the road and win at least 2 weekends.
Of course, you don't know what the road will be in the NFL. I mean, are we still doing this virus thingy, or are we going to let people in the stands in January? What's your gut feeling?
There will be fans in the stands in January to some extent, yes. Full, I don't know. I'll go at least 50%.
Okay.
That's probably where I'm at. Where are you at?
I'm fast becoming kind of a conspiracist here. I think it'll be fuller than that.
You think it's almost full in January?
More than that, yeah. There will no longer be a lot of motivation to not start reclaiming your money.
Do you believe Tate Reeves is going to change his mind on attendance here soon?
Yeah.
Stadium and premium, or just premium? Because I think we both believe premium is going to change.
Premium for sure. I think he'll bump the stadium up some. Probably not to 50, but maybe like 35. You could have put more people in Vaught Hemingway the other day, and it would have been, quote, safe, end quote.
Yeah, that's fair. I expect some executive orders by the end of the week, and we'll see what they look like. But I do think that's very likely.
I will get ahead of this. I'm not going to do the Tate Reeves is trying to help Mississippi State thingy. The calendar turns to October.
Well, now executive orders don't go on month calendars,
right? But
I understand what you mean.
Yeah, but it's easier to do. Hey, we've been reevaluating at the end of every month for the last 7 months, and it's not his fault that Ole Miss opened at home and that State didn't. He did not have a role in the SEC schedule. So if in the event that it comes to, I'm pretty sure.
You sure?
Were
you in the room?
I was not in the room.
Were you in the room where it happened?
I was not in the room where it happened.
Okay.
But I probably could talk to some people who were.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Good enough. Podcast brought to you by Visit Oxford. Visit oxfordms.com is the website to see everything going on around town, places to eat, places to stay, and more for football weekends and just in general. They are the partner for our Oxford Eats for the food we mentioned during in-game every single week during our game day streams, again from Rafters last Saturday. So I appreciate all the people that visit Oxford for that. It's a little bit lighter week. Football team's on the road, but next week you got the Queens Cartoonists at the Ford Center October 6th. You got Tunes Around Town coming back next Friday night from 5 to 7. The double-decker bus also sits outside Visit Oxford on Fridays or Friday afternoons. I believe 3 to 4 is the time for that on Fridays of football game weekends, pictures and whatnot. And then Saturday around the stadium as well. And then, again, that leads off to the next home football game, Ole Miss and Alabama, October 10th, 5 p.m. before the start there.
And we're also brought to you by the law firm of Bain, Moss, and Bowen, PLLC, located in historic downtown Corinth. Their firm practices a wider range of law, DUI defense to car wrecks to representing government entities. Bain, Moss, and Bowen's the only firm in Mississippi that is made up of a sitting state legislator, a former assistant district attorney, and a former circuit court judge. Their experience is unmatched, and you can tap into that by visiting them at 618 East Waldron Street in Corinth or by calling them at 662-287-1620. I saw my friend Whitney McNutt on Friday night in Oxford, and she sponsors my mailbag. She is part of Tommy Morgan Incorporated Realtors, serving you for all your real estate needs in Oxford and Tupelo. She sells condos, land, commercial, and residential family homes. 662-567-2573 or 662-842-3844. We're also brought to you by the Meadowbrook Wealth Advisors of Raymond James, a team in Jackson providing planning and investment guidance to clients across the state and surrounding areas. Financial advisors Bill Geary, Logan Phillips, Chris Carrero, and Ryan Geary are partners with a commitment to personalized service. You can call them at 601-368-2215 and see if they might be a good fit for your financial goals. Raymond Jones and Associates Incorporated, member New York Stock Exchange, SIPC. Our pregame show is brought to you each week by The Rogue. The Rogue is your destination for fine men's clothing. Their stylists hand-select pieces from top designers. From work to lifestyle to nightlife, there's the perfect something for everyone. They have all the best items from Peter Millar, Martin Dingman, Jack Victor, Halsey, True Grit, Duckhead, and more. You can visit them at 4450 I-55 North in Jackson or at therogue.com. You can also reach them at 601-362-6383. And we're brought to you by Heritage Properties, home to 3 communities in Oxford, Faulkner Flats, Cambridge Station, and Lexington Point. All 3 properties are multifamily housing. They all offer on-site management and maintenance. They're pet-friendly, and they offer short-term leases. We'll be telling you about them throughout the week and again on Saturday on our pregame show. Know this about Faulkner Flats. It's located on Old Taylor Road. It offers 1, 2, and 3-bedroom apartment homes, private patios or balconies, a premier 24/7 gym and tanning facility, a resort-style pool, a car wash station, and much more. You don't want to miss out on their special rates. 3 bedrooms are now leasing for the price of a 2-bedroom. You can get in touch with them at live@faulknerflats.com or by phone at 662-234-4558.
So what are the 1 or 2 you're most looking forward to this weekend? We kind of talked about it last week. Ole Miss Florida was intriguing, State LSU, and then obviously whatever. What do you got?
Auburn, Georgia. It's the one, if you tell me I could only watch one game, not as a journalist, but I could only watch one game out of curiosity, that would be the one that I'd watch. And then, believe it or not, the second one I think is Ole Miss, Kentucky. Really intrigued. Can you get better on defense? How much Can you be better on defense against an offense that will be inferior to the one that you just faced? Because if you can't, well, then we're coming back here a week from today going, dude, I don't know. It's going to be hard.
It is such the swing game from that standpoint. Hey, Kentucky's not Florida, and the defense wasn't good, but they were competent enough. They got off the field a little bit and see, here's some signs. Or, like you said, the offense takes a step back, and you go, whoa, now you got to be that good. You can't fall off. You can't do whatever. It's got to.
And if I'm honest, I'm really interested to see a week later, are they still playing the games at quarterback, or is it Matt Corral's offense now? Are we still flirting with that?
Because I had it up a second ago. Plumlee played. I do want to see how they use him, because I do feel like there's a role for him here. Just got to figure out what it is. Hold on. He needs more snaps than this somewhere. John Rice only played. Hold on.
It's okay.
11 snaps on Saturday.
Oh, that's not good.
It was 11. I mean, he only played 4 more snaps than Casey Kelly, and he played 1 fewer snap than Tylen Knight. John Rice needs to be on the field more than Tylen Knight.
Was he not on the field because he was not amenable to playing other positions, in your opinion, or do you think it was just, hey, we're doing other things?
It appeared to be part of the game plan at that point. Yeah, I mean, they threw the ball to him twice early. I mean, frankly, had a really nice play drawn up on the ball that he almost snagged when he kind of dove there on the first series.
He almost caught that.
That was pretty well done. So, yeah, I don't know. They need to get him the ball more. I mean, we're seeing 11 snaps here for or at least get him on the field. Drummond played 53.
He was good.
Yeah. Just kind of see if anything else sticks out.
Elijah
pretty much didn't come off the field.
They've got to find that third receiver.
Yeah, this is what Dennis Jackson only played 4 snaps on Saturday.
Yeah.
They got to get something out of one of those guys.
Did Miles Battle or any of those guys even get a snap?
I didn't see them at all. Let's see. Let me flip it to wide receivers. Elijah Moore, 78 snaps. Dennis Jackson, 4 snaps. Braylon Sanders, only 22 snaps.
Yeah.
Drummond, 53. That was it.
Yeboah?
Yeah, I mean, at tight end, he played 71.
Okay. He played a bunch.
Yeah. Rogers played 4, and then Kelly played whatever's left. I don't know. And Mingo played 76 snaps. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Mingo played a lot.
Yeah.
He's got a chance, I think, to be
in 2 wide receiver sets. Moore and Mingo hardly ever came off the field.
He's got to be more productive.
That was it. I mean, literally nobody else played. Just quickly on defense, see if anybody's really having to overuse here a little bit. Let's see. Jalen Jones played 78 snaps. Florida ran 78 plays. He never came off the field.
That's a bunch.
Keydron Smith played 68 snaps. Finley played 58 snaps. Lakia Henry played 50, and everybody else was under that.
Yeah.
So that's actually pretty good for Ole Miss. You got a couple DBs that were up there, but for the most part, they got everybody off the field and got them some breathers from a depth standpoint.
You're writing about offensive line grades later, is that right?
Yeah. I am.
Yeah.
A couple surprising things there that you and I did not pick up with our eyes.
So, Sammy, you'll need to subscribe to rebelgrove.com. Prices have not gone up in the last hour.
They're still there.
Still there.
We haven't gotten an email at least. I mean, if so, then hey, maybe today's the day.
No.
But
if I get an email, it won't be to tell me that. It'll be to tell me to shut up.
You think so?
Yeah.
Last couple lines here. LSU minus 18.5. It's now going to 20 against Vanderbilt in Nashville this weekend. I think that's it, actually, from SEC standpoint. Yeah. Southern Miss, a 1.5-point underdog at North Texas this weekend. It's been a rough go for the Golden Eagles to this point.
Yeah. Probably a year they would like to forget on multiple levels.
Yeah, it's just rough. It's been tough ever since they opened the season with that pretty rough loss to South.
Does ULM play anybody this week, or do we get a break?
Didn't see y'all on the page.
We need a break.
Been rough so far.
Been a tough,
not going overly well.
Been a tough go.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
We always do more NFL on Tuesdays every week, so we'll do a little more of that tomorrow after the big Monday night game tonight between the Chiefs and Ravens.
What are the big games in the NFL next week?
Right.
I don't even know.
Let's look.
I mean, I know Colts and Bears is the headliner. Woo! Chance to go 4-0.
Let's just say if the Saints do sneak into the playoffs, I'd like the Bears in the first round. Let's put it that way. Like
everybody will.
I'd love the 12-4 Bears.
Yeah, everybody would
at that point.
Everybody would be like, "Oh my God, it is a miracle."
Hang on, Trubisky? Okay.
Is it? Well, it's Bowles now.
Oh, well, yeah, that's right. Yeah, saw that.
And they did look more competent.
By the way, Texans, talk about off to bad starts and whenever they lose to Pittsburgh yesterday.
Yeah.
The Houston Chronicle, is that right? Their paper?
Yeah.
Yeah. They went with the headline "Pitiful" with Pitt hyphened out. I thought it was pretty clever this morning with their picture of Deshaun Watson. All right, your week 4 in the NFL. We'll tease this to close before we come back with a lot of more NFL tomorrow and more. Let's see. We got Denver, New York Jets on Thursday night. Then we have Colts, Bears, Jags, Bengals, Browns, Cowboys, Saints in a must-win at Detroit this weekend.
Yep.
Pittsburgh at Tennessee. That's a good game.
That is a good game.
That's a good game. I bet we get that one, too, on CBS, on our local network.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good about that. Seahawks going to win again. They go to Miami this weekend.
They're good.
They look very good yesterday. Had a little defensive issues, but Russell Wilson now with 14 touchdowns through 3 weeks.
Wilson was good yesterday. Dak was pretty good yesterday.
Yeah.
There's a receiver for the Seahawks. Man.
His cone drill is really poor.
I'm not sure how he fell out of the first round.
Yeah.
Woo.
Perfect spot for him, though.
He's a dude.
Chargers, Bucks, Ravens,
Did
Redskins.
you see my boy Justin?
I did. Yeah.
I'm telling you.
You're going to hang on to that one for a while.
He's legitimately good. And these guys thrown in. He was not ready for this. And the Chargers are saying he's not ready. What do you do, by the way, if you're them? If you're the Chargers? You're not going anywhere this year. Do you?
If I'm not going anywhere, I play him.
Do you bail on Tyrod Taylor through no fault of his own?
As long as he's Wally Pipped, as long as I feel like I can protect Herbert enough to not cause him injury or any debilitation. Yeah, if I can do that, he's just going to play. Because he's my future anyway. Everybody knows that, so that's where we're going with that. Yeah,
he looks good.
I play him. Cardinals at Panthers, Vikings at Texans, Giants at Rams. Rams let one slip away yesterday. And then your national games, your CBS National 325 game of the week, Patriots at Chiefs next week.
Okay.
Your Sunday night game next week is actually, it's a 3:00 game too. I apologize. Buffalo at Las Vegas, not a terrible game there.
Bills are fun, man.
Josh Allen, I apologize. You've been pretty good.
Yeah.
Got that one wrong so far.
Yeah.
So I apologize to him.
He's a gritty cat.
Sunday night next week, Eagles, who look terrible, at the 49ers.
That was a game before the season you thought would be attractive. And Philly just can't get it done. Carson Wentz.
Falling off.
He has hit an apex and come back down.
Yeah. And then your Monday night game next week, I know who's going to win, and it's going to be a bludgeoning. The Atlanta Falcons are at the Green Bay Packers next Monday night. So that is your rundown.
If you're the Falcons, is Dan Quinn in Green Bay with you Monday night?
No, because we always talk about this. If you know you're going to fire somebody, go ahead and fire them.
Yeah.
Get rid of it. Because they're not going anywhere. I get the division is bad, but no.
It ain't that bad.
No, not at all. And yes, the Saints would do much better if they had Teddy Bridgewater right now. I don't even know that that's a hot take. It's just true.
I mean, if I'm the Saints, it's not going to happen because they're going to ride the.
They're going to let him take the victory laps. I'd play.
But there's nobody there to see the lap.
Just telling you, they're not mentioning. I would play Jameis. See what you get.
I would too. I'd find out because if he's no good, he's no good.
Yeah, I got to have an answer to that. So.
I mean, you're not particularly invested in Jameis Winston.
No.
So if you play him and he ends up thriving in Sean Payton's offense, well, congratulations, you found it. And then if he comes in there and he's still a turnover machine,
it just is what it is.
You cut bait at the end of the year.
Yeah, I know. So. All right, back tomorrow with another show, again, NFL-centric. We'll have more Ole Miss-related stuff, more college football as always, as we are in a season. Also want to talk a little bit about all the leagues that kind of made this happen. Let's go through them a little bit. Everybody's made this thing work. Nobody fell apart. Everybody kind of stayed the course, and they have gotten here. Not named the Big Ten or the Pac-12. They were idiots that just got drug along by their hair at this point. But nonetheless,
the science changed.
Yeah,
you were so. Yeah. The science changed. They found new science, new studies, and that made them feel like it was safer than it was 4 weeks ago for them to move forward with their student-athletes. Student-athlete health is always paramount in the Big Ten.
We're going to throw some kudos out. They will not be going in those directions. But until then, rebelgrove.com, plenty of content there, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.